You all don't realize this, but my spring break started today, and this is the first thing I'm recording on my spring break. It's Romania Black. We're on Word of Honor episode 9, and it feels so good. I got coffee from a nice coffee shop. I got comments to go over. Episode 8. The last 3 episodes have honestly been like a tour de force of greatness. And if the rest of the season is just as good as these last 3 weeks, we're going to be doing great. I found out that I've been saying Zhou Zishu's name wrong the entire time, but glad we found out now. Zhou Zishu and Sao Wei Ning, which I should just call him Wei Ning. I think the reason why I'm not one to say Wei Ning is because I get in my head where I think of Modao Zushi and I think of Wen Ning, and then I think of Wei Wuxian, and I imagine them as a combination of the two, but Wei Ning is way too innocent to be connected to Wei Wuxian, so but yes, one thing I want to dive in before we get to the comments is last week, you probably were all sitting there going, didn't you say there were some scripted lines that were changed in the dub for episode 8 that your moderator told you about that you were going to tell us? Yeah, I forgot that because I talked for an hour and a half about the episode. So, Be Happy, who's the moderator for this series, did say that there was a script change from the script to the dub in episode 8, and it was around the 35-minute and 7-second mark. And it was basically Wen KeXing saying, I'll let you order me around in the future, okay? And Zhou Zishu says, well, then why don't you just get lost? What was actually said was Wen KeXing, well, I'll sell the rest of my life to you. And Zhou Zishu said, well, then I'll sell you to a brothel. So Wen KeXing's ready to go all the way. He's not only said there are soulmates, he is ready to go all the way. He is ready to risk it all on Zhou Zishu. And I'm like, I just need Zhou to realize that and to know that he loves him and to give that in return. But we are not there yet, obviously. So, anyway, I'm just floored by this series, and I have so much fun with it. But we do have a couple of, I was told there are not any scripted changes in this episode, which is fine, so I won't forget anything. But I have a couple comments from episodes 5 and episode 6 that I want to talk about. Zuri Kier Joseph in episode 5 says, I find it odd the different sects are called mountain villas, even though they're not on mountains. And I was like, yes. The Yoku translates them as manor instead, which makes more sense. You know, the Four Seasons Manor and Mirror Lake Manor. It sounds nicer, but it's fun to see the differences, especially for the poems. It's just the literal translation of Mountain Villa is funny. I've been having so much fun and making fun of mountain villas, like the Four Seasons Mountain Villa, but Manor makes so much more sense, and I can definitely understand why people would want me to go with the Yoku subs. It's just, Reiki has been nice enough to get me all of these episodes, and I also am used to these subs by now. And plus, the way that I look at it is if there is a discrepancy, then when I get to the novel, it will give me something else to talk about. I'll be like, oh yeah, so these are said differently. Cool. It'll just give me more stuff to look forward to when I get to the novel. So that's kind of my thought process as far as that goes. But yeah, the manor idea. I might just call them the Mirror Lake Manor or Four Seasons Manor because that does make a little bit more sense. So thank you. Pancake says for episode 6 about the changing ghost, Wu Chang Gui. Gui is ghost, of course. Wu Chang here can be translated to changing, but maybe impermanence is better. Since it is a term that refers to how the states of life are constantly changing and unpredictable, like everything that comes and also goes, everything that lives must also die. Oh, that actually makes a lot more sense, Pancake. I'm glad you said that. So the idea that the changing ghost isn't necessarily a shapeshifter, but talks about the changing passage of time. I kind of like that because, like with the alluring ghost and the tragicoma ghost, they both kind of have this theme of kind of getting penance for adultery or something. I like the idea of the ghosts kind of being connected towards death in a certain way, shapes, or forms. Like the hanging ghost, the changing ghost means changing of the times. You have the alluring ghost, meaning of lust. I like that. Yes, cool. I like that. It almost feels like they're the opposite of sloth, kind of, the impermanence or changing ghost. Cool. Pancake also says the lines that were changed from the original script are wild. The fact that they even filmed them in the first place is brave to me. And they specifically made it so that people can still lip read even if they're dubbed over, which is also cool. I'm highly appreciative of all the ways they beat the censors. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, if you're a lip reader, you could hear what they're actually saying and be like, okay. Yeah, this series, it took some risks to beat the censors, and I am here for it. XXYZ 690, as well as Icy, both said in episode 6 that the Wolong Nuts bit at the end of everything is actually a product placement. They sponsored most of this drama, so when KeXing asking Yu Zhang if she got paid for praising them is kind of like a meta joke. Oh, okay. So it's like a kind of like Cornettos. Man, I miss the Cornetto ads. I miss those in Modao Sushi, the Cornetto ads. I don't think I could have like half the Cornettos because they have chocolate on them and I'm allergic to cocoa, but the ads are so cute. But XXY says, this is, by the way, the extended episode 6 is an extended episode. So I'm guessing that last week's episode that was like 43 minutes was also extended, and I can't imagine what they cut out of that one. And then apparently this episode this week, I wasn't going to say anything till after the comments were over, but it's 45 minutes long. So I'm assuming it's extended as well, right? The original version, I like that the original version didn't have the rabbit cleaning scene. I love XXY saying, I guess because they thought splashing each other with water is more intimate than sucking on your boyfriend's shoulder. But seriously though, the wedding night scene is wild to me. I'm assuming the wedding night scene is like them being in like cleaning the rabbits and doing like the shoulder thing or whatever. I assume that's what they're talking about. I guess you could think it's that way, but they weren't in red, so I don't know if I'd call it a wedding night yet. But how they got the shoulder sucking through but not splashing water while they're cleaning rabbits. Okay, censors. I guess maybe because it was like a medical thing, they're like, oh yeah, just two bros. It's for medicinal purposes, but bros aren't allowed to splash each other with water playfully with rabbits. And then Anime Annie for episode 6 says, Zhou Zishu leaving Wen KeXing worrying for him in the water shows he has just as much of a childish streak as Wen KeXing. The same for him wiping the gourd before taking a drink after Wen KeXing. Though, your mentioning of him being fine with the flute before made my not safe for work brain perk up. Zhou Zishu is fine with blowing, but not swallowing. It's too early to be talking about positions and things like that. Yeah, we've just gotten to the soulmate confession. We've got a way to go. So I thank you all so much for your comments. I really appreciate them. But y'all, we have 45 minutes. 45 minutes of commentary, and I'm just so elated. I cannot wait. I say 45 minutes. We're starting at a minute 46, and it's probably going to give us like, but still, it's a little bit longer than last week. Which I'm excited about. So yes, I love when we get a good, robust episode. So I'm super excited, y'all. Thank you so much for the comments and kind words. But it's basically going to be one of those things where as soon as Be Happy, the moderator, says I'm good to go on the comments, I'm going to be checking those comments every week and diving in because I just cannot wait. It's just too good. So what can we do, y'all? But anyway, I hope y'all have an exciting time with this episode, as I will. But we're going to start episode 9 of Word of Honor. And we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's jam. So yeah, we ended with Gao talking to Wen KeXing, and that was, we're gonna go straight to the body. That's what we were. Well. Oh ho ho ho. Yeah, Wen KeXing is like not even looking at the body. Oh. Are y'all telepathically? Oh, I love that fan. You go ahead and fan your boyfriend. So they both have come to like the same conclusion of what's happened to him. What you doing with these magnets, sir? Oh! Oh, it is a magnet! Bitch, cool! Is this from an assassin? I wouldn't touch him. Well, there were 3 of them. Why do we automatically assume it's the Ghost Valley? Oh. Oh ho ho ho. Uh-huh. Oh. Since y'all are busy, we're gonna leave. We've got some making out to do. We'll see you later. Oh. Just don't worry about us. We'll just see ourselves out. Oh, sure, we'll be there. Of course. Ooh, the full title and everything. Zhou Zishu's like, excuse me. You're not fooling anyone, Wen KeXing. Shin's like, I don't know about them. Ah. Love the parasols. Aww. She's like, have you touched your food? Yeah. Oh. He is so nervous. He's so nervous. Ah! I love them. Oh. Oh, girl. He's like, well, oh. Oh, she's very honest. Oh, girl. Oh, no! That's why they're called devils. Oh. Oh, girl, you are egging him on. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Girl, look at you! Look at you! Well, Miss Goo. Oh. You're trying so hard to be a prince, sir, but she's like, oh, you silly boy. I'm not scared. I'm going to protect you by the end of this. Yeah, look at him! He's like, oh, well, Miss Goo. Oh, are you going to say that she's attractive? Oh. Oh. She's like, what? Oh, bitch. Right. I love she's halfway through the pickle. Oh. Oh, girl. Oh, bitch. Oh my God, girl. Yes. Oh my God, I love them. Yes, that was so great. Meanwhile, the adult room, back in the adult section of the story. Well, that is the golden question. Probably. Hmm. Hmm. Is this Wen KeXing's room? Are you going in? Or is this your room? Oh. 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 I got us some food. You know, we're going to have a party. Interesting. Oh no. He can't smell it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I don't want him to lose his senses. Maybe he can still taste it. Oh no. I don't like him being sad. I don't like him being sad at all. And when KeXing's like, why aren't you enjoying this food? Why does he look so hot when he's sad? Well, no, it's a bit deeper than that. Ah. Oh. Uh-huh. He's like, please. You're not being mysterious with that at all. Oh. Oh, wow. Does anything last forever? Oh. Oh, this is the dog story. Oh. What a lifetime meant. Oh. Oh. Oh! 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 Excuse me! Oh. I love it to make that face like, ah, I'm gonna get myself ready. Oh, what's this transition? Oh my God. Oh, are we getting a bath scene? Oh, is this gonna be him showing the nails or who be this? This is him. Okay, yeah. He has like the muted gray, which, you know, then you have Wen KeXing in the vibrant peacock colors. Which again, oh my God, Zhou Zishu is literally the color of a female peacock, that brown. And Wen KeXing is the opposite. Oh, I don't like him losing his senses and him knowing it. It's so sad. And him being scared about it. Of course he is. Shut up! Him trying to help him feel better, playing on that damn flute. Does he know? I don't think he knows about the nails, but he knows that something's wrong, and his beau is feeling sad, so he's trying to help him. You just shut up right now. You just shut up right now. Trying to calm him down. With them damn piano playing hands. You shut your face, Wen KeXing. Ugh! The yin and yang of it all. The yin and yang of it all. I cannot. Does he know? Does he know that he's helping him? Oh. Oh, me? I was just, sitting on my balcony playing my flute, as one does on a random Wednesday. Shut up. Silence. That comforter is amazing. Ah! I'm just going to come in and wake you up. Oh, he's like, ah. Oh. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Oh. Oh. Ah! I got him to go on the boat! Oh, no. Oh, this is Gao on the boat. Never mind. Oh, hey! Hey, Strawberry Shortcake Duo's here, and they've transitioned into white. There was some... I'm just saying, there was some morning greetings to us when he pulled them covers back. If not, then this is beautiful, actually. I love this little dock and the little pavilion. Oh. Oh! Masters of Music. Oh. Oh. Wen KeXing's like getting all these ideas from this. He's like, we could do that too, We're both flute players. Uh-huh. Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. So these are, okay. Maybe not the Strawberry Shortcake couple. Can you two become soulmates and go into the forest as well? Playing your flutes for the end of time? Oh. Well, Wen KeXing's already met his, and you've met yours. You just don't want to acknowledge it yet. Oh, look at each other! Ah! Son of a bitch! You can't do this show! You can't do this! Shut up! No! You can't do that! Right. Right. No time like the... Did you do the same thing? Did you do the same thing? get through this episode. Meanwhile, justice for Changling. He doesn't get to wear the robes that everybody else wears. Oh! Hey! Poor Changling. Oh! Oh, what is that supposed to say? This bitch. He's like, well, excuse you. Oh, bitch! Oh, shit! Changling! Sweetheart! Oh, my God! Bitch! You, excuse you? He's like, well, bitch, I'm done. He's like, why am I here? Why am I dealing with this? You bitches. He's gonna hit him again. Oh, shit. What bitch? Oh, just the Charlie Brown walk home. Oh, Guzheng. Aww. Oh. 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 Oh, he's making out with my master right now. It's okay. Oh. She's like, ah, yes. How did you know? Oh, well, yes. Oh, interesting. Uh-huh, good girl. Oh my God. Oh, bitch, I got my ways. You could say I snuck in. You just gotta know the right people, sir. I cannot with these two. I cannot with these two. I cannot. Uh-huh. Oh. Oh. What about the two, Ah. Interesting. Oh, interesting. Well, I was in charge of an assassin guild, so, you know. Oh. Uh-huh. Well. Ooh. Oh. But you're not going to answer the question for him. Okay. Oh, these plebs, these plebeians. Oh. Hmm. Ooh. 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 Oh. Ooh, yes. Okay. All right. I love this. Yeah. Just a wanderer. Oh! Ah! Oh. Yeah, I just want to watch from afar. Ah! Oh, did you? Ah! Zhou Zishu! Why are you walking? Oh. This episode is meant to just make me a puddle. Melt away. just kicks it like, oh, are you having a private moment? Not anymore. I'm inviting you to drink with me. Again. Oh, that's late. We can admire. It'd be so romantic. Romantic. Come on. Oh, bitch. Be away, Wushan, and go up there. You have nothing else to do. Come on. Go up there with him. You have nothing else to do. Let that song play. Give them the romantic song. Ah! Ah! Look at him waiting on him! Look at him waiting on him! Oh. Is he gonna stand you up? Don't let him do that. Oh, shut up! Flew in like a damn nightingale! Like a damn nightingale! Cheers, Mother Trucker! Oh my god! Look at that arm just sauntered next to him. This is too happy. The happy times are too much. Ask him why he's happy. Come on, just humor him for 5 seconds. Get you someone to look at you like he looks at him. Oh. Oh. I am sorry for the inhuman noises I'm making in this episode, but oh my god. Oh, that was a transition. That was a transition. And are they all fighting over the fake glazed armor pieces? Oh, right in front of our salad. Wen KeXing's like, son of a bitch. Because Zhou isn't gonna let it go! Oh my god, Avasti! Oh. What a way to ruin the mood. Oh. Bitch, are you going to tell him? Is he going to tell him about the other pieces of the glazed armor? Oh. Oh my god. Oh, yes, okay, all right. That was menacing. Wen KeXing was like, let's go, bitch. Oh! Oh! Oh, okay. Zhou's like, hold on. I'm an old man. I love when KeXing's just flying through the air like a damn sparrow. Oh, bitch. Yes. Yes. Oh, Ghost Valley, let's go. Oh, the green. It's so oogie boogie. I love it. Oh. Oh, shit. Wen KeXing looks so pleased. Oh, it was them. Well, I'm glad we don't remember those names. Oh. That is cold, Wen KeXing. That is cold. Well, it's one of... It looks like it. Bitch. Oh, and then there's... Uh-huh. Well, because they're both fakes. He's gonna figure it out, I'm sure. I'm sure he'll figure it out. No, I don't think Zhou does think it's funny. Oh. Yeah, you did. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. We had it all. Oh, no, no, no. Oh. Oh. Oh, you're not a random poor person? I guess I'll care now. Oh. Oh, did he go back to his other robes? Is he in mourning? He's not as vibrant of a peacock anymore. Oh. Oh. He's not going to be there, is he? He's going to have left. Yeah. Oh. Oh no, sweetheart. Oh, or maybe he's trying to figure out what the deal is. Yeah, about that. Well, there's 27 more out there. Uh-huh. Yeah, a bit. Oh. Why couldn't we have nice things? And they stay. Oh, so he was the son. Okay. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. Huh. What would be this? Oh, these were the two uh from the circuit, the dance thing. Oh shit. Wow. Oh. Oh shit. What is this? What is happening? Oh, bitch. Oh no. Another beggar gang. Oh my god, not the soulmates. Not the soulmates. Not the soulmates. But is it fake? Oh my god. Oh my god, girl. And these two guys that are soulmates. Oh my god. I love this setup. This set is amazing. Oh, there's the strawberry shortcake gang. Leave these polygamous couples alone. Damn. Like this random guy that's on his shoulder, like ready to go. Oh, Huang, yeah. Uh-huh. What does that have to do with you? Is Wen KeXing and Zhou gonna show up for this? Oh. Hello. Well. Oh no! Shit! Shit! Oh my! Oh no! Not the eyes! Oh, anything but the eyes! Shit! Oh my god! Oh my god! Not really? Man, oh, subtitles. Oh my god. Yikes. Oh! 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 Oh, Gao's here now! Okay! Holy shit! What? And Shinshin! Well, that's not what they have been telling us. They kind of want y'all to burn, so... Oh, shit. This poor guy in his eyes! Oh my god. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. You ass kisser! Girl! Queen! Get it! Are you guys swingers? Don't question our kinks, young man! Oh, well, Shin Shin. She's like, bitch, what? This is insane. This is chaos. What? Wait, where did he go? Where'd the tall guy and the other guy go? Oh, they left. Oh, bitch. Wen KeXing. I love this wardrobe change for him, though. Although I did like the peacock robes. He's in his breakup outfit. Oh, shit! The eyes! Oh! Oh! What? What is this? Oh, well, there we go. There we go. Is that the real one? Oh, shit. Oh, the eyes. Oh. Oh, my God. That's terrifying, actually. Oh, my God. That is so scary. Oh! Oh, no. When KeXing's like, they're done. Oh, the soulmates. Did you realize that your actions could have caused the deaths of people that shouldn't have died? Oh, no. Oh, is he going to kill himself or is he going to go? Oh. 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 Oh my God. Oh. Oh. Oh my God. No. Shit. Oh no. Oh. Bitch. Oh. Oh, Wen KeXing, sweetheart. Does he realize the errors of his ways? Oh. 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 Oh, bitch. The counterfeits, yeah. What a move! What a move! Oh. 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 Mm-hmm. Oh my god! Oh! Oh! Oh no! Why was this a breakup episode? Why was this? Why was this a break? What? Oh my god. I figured at some point in this series, because we can't have nice things for 37 episodes. So I figured at some point, your main couple starts to get to know each other, and in starting to get to know each other, they, begin to like question things about each other. And Wen KeXing is so mysterious. Wen KeXing is so mysterious. There's so much that we don't know about his character, and that he's choosing to not tell us for obvious reasons, I'm sure. But Zhou Zishu is definitely the type of character that he's like, I want to know. I want to know what I like about these two characters, and why Borkun has become filled with so much. But I felt like they just need to be here to bear witness alongside us. But Zhou Zishu is definitely the type of character that he wants to know straightforward. Just tell me like it is, and I can take it. He's like, I just want to know. Of course, the downside of that is that once Zhou Zishu knows about a certain thing, then he starts to make like decisions based on that. He's like, oh, well, actually, I think they'll get involved now, because I feel he has a very big sense of justice behind him, despite being the lead of an assassin guild, despite saying that he wants to die a beggar, which, oh my God, that whole introduction of that. If you think about it, we are presumably, what are we at this point? I'm not a mathematician. There are 37 episodes, right? So if we're doing the Eastern narrative structure of 3 acts versus 4 acts, let's say if we have 37 episodes divided by 3, that's 12 episodes. So if we're doing a 3-act structure in this series, the 12th episode would be the end of Act 1, which is usually you introduce all your characters, your conflict, whatever. But I typically think of it as a Japanese structure, but you could probably do it in Chinese literature as well, that you have 4 acts. That's 9 episodes, about 9 episodes. So basically, this is the end of Act 1 of the 4-act structure. So if you are unfamiliar, I'm an English teacher, so I'm used to the Western 3-act structure, but in other series of anime that I have looked at, we've talked about the 4-act structure. So in the 4-act structure, you have 4 acts, and they all have various purposes to them. Act 1 is the introduction, is the intro of our characters and the initial conflict. And I would say that after this episode, we've got the initial conflict and the characters down, right? So that means that Act 2 is going to be all about just the conflict in general, setting up our conflict, etc. Act 3 is where there is the twists and turns, where we have our reveals, all of our exposition bombs, everything comes full circle, right? Or everything gets set up to come full circle. And then Act 4 is your climax and conclusion. So that's the traditional Eastern 4-act structure. And I think after this episode that we've done a very good job of setting up all the characters. We've met the sect leaders of the Five Lakes Alliance. We've met Strawberry Shortcake Couple and the Beggar Gang and the Hua Manor or Mount Hua, whatever. And then we've met the 2 assassins leagues. We've met them. And then we've also gotten to know a little bit about Zhou and Wen KeXing, and they've started their romance, which I should have known. We were getting treated and spoiled so much in the first half of this episode. It was just like, do you want all the yearning, all the romance, everything? And I was like, blah, 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 like eating it up. And then it was too good to be true. And then we get the rug pulled out from under us, and and we're going to go back to that. But Wen KeXing has a realization of, I might have made a boo-boo because I might have assumed something about Zhou Zishu that is not true. And he kind of has a come to Jesus moment, especially when the soulmates all become killed. And we're going to talk about that. But this episode was an emotional roller coaster, and it's only the end of Act 1. We still have 3 more acts to go. Not ready. I'm not ready. Anyway, so we need to talk about this episode because oh my God, all of it was it was a lot. And I was making a lot of incoherent, non-human noises throughout it. So yeah. So we find out about the thief, the 9-clawed fox, Fang Bougie. They are dead. They were killed by poison needles. And what I like about this is that throughout this moment, even though they are not telepathic, or so we think, it was definitely a moment of Wen KeXing and Zhou Zishu both kind of thinking the same thing and kind of giving each other looks like, you figured this out, haven't you? I figured this out, haven't you? Like, they're both kind of on the same page without even saying it. And they just kind of look at each other like, we get what's going on. So the big thing is, and I guess we should put it here, is that Fang Bougie was essentially killed by the assassins. So we think. The assassins, and we think it was Window of Heaven. So someone in the Window of Heaven came in, killed him, and took the fake piece of the glazed armor. Now, why Prince Jin wants the glazed armor? I mean, Zhou Zishu asks that, but it's like, it's basically offering immortality. So why wouldn't a power-hungry, ambitious individual want it, right? I mean, it seems fairly obvious why he wants it. Zhou just doesn't see the value in it. So, then what I like about this is the two of them talk about it as the body is being inspected. I love the use of the magnet. That's really cool. The magnet to pull the pins out. And so Zhou Zishu says this is the guy who stole Lao Wen's glazed armor. And then Wen KeXing says, well, no wonder he grabbed a hot potato and died immediately after from disaster. He brought it upon himself. And then that's when Wen KeXing says, mature plums by the roadside that never get picked must be bitter. You're not the only sensible person here. Somebody else is going to figure out, like, what, it's going to be pretty obvious to everybody what's going on. I love the use of the magnet, though, and then pulling out the 3 needles. That was crazy. And the poison needles. The thing is, they immediately blame the Ghost Valley. Like, oh, which ghost could have done this? Like, that part's wild to me because they all seem to kind of know the ghost's signature trademark, like what the alluring ghost does, what the hanging ghost does. They all seem to know, like, the happy ghost. They all seem to know what the ghost's signature trade moves are, and they're sitting there trying to figure out which ghost shoots poison needles. Meanwhile, Zhou is like, oh, I know what that is. And it's not a ghost move. It's from the window of heaven. They're trying to get the glazed armor as well. The piercing rain needles. Exclusive to the window of heaven. So yeah, Zhou is like, I know it's not the Ghost Valley doing it. I think it would be very interesting if the Ghost Valley is really not involved in the glazed armor business, but instead it's just the assassin guilds fighting each other. It's the Scorpions versus the Window of Heaven. That would be interesting. And then, of course, the Five Lakes Alliance get it wrong, and they're blaming the wrong people. So they're like, that child, Han Ying, sure moves quickly. The fact that when KeXing says that child is also interesting to me. Like you said, that child, like, how old are you, sir? How old are you, Ghost Chief? How old are you to call Han Ying a child? So, okay. It should be in the Window of Heaven's hands by now. So I love this part where they ask about, you know, the two of them being like, oh, hey, you guys showed up at a weird time. And when KeXing them are like, oh, you know what? We'll just peace out. You guys look like you got this handled. We'll just go over here. No need to see us out. We just happened to just stumble across this incident. Looks like you guys got it under control. We're just going to be on our way. Don't mind us. Zhao Jing seems the only one that's kind of suspicious about them and wants to talk to them further. Everybody else doesn't seem to care about them and is willing to let them go. Even Gao. But Zhao Jing's the only one that's like, oh, I wanted to talk to you a little bit. But they're like, we're fine. We won't disturb you. And then they talk about the hero conference and hoping to see the both of them there. And when KeXing's like, oh, well, I'll attend no matter what. And I understand that Zhou is very curious as to what Wen KeXing's deal is, why he cares so much about being there with Gao and what his potential grudge against Gao is. Zhou seems like he's curious about it, but whereas when KeXing will go to literally like any lengths to figure out what things are and has an underground network of spies and people to figure things out for him, Zhou Zishu is kind of like, well, if I can't figure it out myself, then we'll just let the cards fall. They have a different means of how far they will go to find information. And part of Zhou is just like, well, if it's not pertaining to me or Chengling, then it's not probably worth knowing. I'm curious. Shin seems like he doesn't trust them as they walk away either. So then we get Sao Wei Ning and Gu Zhang that are there eating the food. Oh, bless. Oh, bless. Their dynamic is so cute. Gu Zhang has pick of the mill. She could stick with Golden Retriever Sao Wei Ning, but then she could also be with Chengling. Like, girl has her pick. She can go whichever route she wants to. But she's like, oh, here you go, Sao. You can go ahead and eat. I understand why Sao is not eating. He's so nervous on their date that his nerves, he's not able to eat the food. He just wants to like watch her eat and be fine. She's like, well, what's gone? Like, and he's like, no, it's not the fact that you gave me food. He's like, you know, you were very generous and gave it to me. And so that's very nice. But he's very nervous. And Gu Zhang, girl has no fear. No fear. She's just like, boop, boop. Just like, boop, I'm going to poke you. Poor Sao Wei Ning. He's like, oh my God, this girl that I like is just poking me. Now, she says, you know, you should be careful because she's like, I'm not flirting with you. Just to be clear, I'm just letting you know that you need a warning because among the 10 ghosts, among the 10 devils, there's a ghoul who feeds off the faces of attractive youths such as yourselves. Especially those who have baby fat, so you need to be careful. Now, the question is, of course, you know, is that the rumor about Gu Zhang? Or is that a different ghost? You know, is that the rumor about her? That she's one of the devils that does that? Maybe. Who knows? And he's like, oh, well, and then maybe it's because I've watched Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant recently, but he's like, oh, I'll be your prince and protect you. And she's like, don't need protection from you. You need protection from me. Gu Zhang is a queen. I love her. I love her. She's amazing. And I love that she's just like, oh, that's so cute. You're such a golden retriever. It's nice that you want to protect me, but they're very strong. So you just need to make sure that you're able to defend yourself so you don't get eradicated. You know, And then she talks about, it seems like what Guzhang is doing is trying to lead him to give her information, being like, you know, if these 10 ghosts are so scary and stuff and they've made their way here, how are they able to do it and get under the noses of the Five Lakes Alliance? I wonder why. She's not very subtle about it, but Cao Weining is so infatuated and he's such a golden retriever that he's just like, oh, well, this might have been why. And she's like, oh, really? She is so devious. I love Guzhang. I love it. So then, when she's like, I'm not scared. I feel safer with you here. Look at that. So then, of course, Sal's like, you know, since you said that ghost likes to attack attractive people, are you saying that I'm attractive? And then she doesn't answer the question because she sees somebody in the back. Oh, it's so funny. She's like, what are you talking about? I love Guzhang. If I were a character in this series, I don't know if I'm as bubbly and bright as Guzhang, but I think there's parts of her that I would definitely relate to, that I would definitely be tied to being. And if it meant I get to be by Wen KeXing this entire time, yes, please. So then she sees somebody else that she knows, and they talk about they found the corpse of Bougie, and so she goes over to see the people helping her, and they're like, Zhang, and she's like, no. She's like, they're like, do you want to hear a song? And then she says, someone is here with me, so it's best to pretend we don't recognize each other. So you ask around first. When I ask you to sing, that means I've finished with the mission that Master gave me. So yeah, she's talked to these people before. And she's like, tell me where I can find the Master when the time comes. Okay. I love there's this inner working network. It's so good. I love it. And of course, Cao Weining's like, what a happy day this is. Girl, Guzhang is working behind the scenes. She is getting it in. So the good luck in. Well, good luck in, huh? So Zhou is trying to figure out why the Window of Heaven wants the glazed armor and why Gao Chong has hid Changling away. I'm sure that Zhou is worried about Changling and that he might get caught up in all of this and could get hurt, which is going to lead to his problems with Wen KeXing's actions later on. Because Zhou, you know, has given his word of honor, roll credits, that he'll keep Changling safe. And as long as he can before he dies. So he feels obligated to make sure that he's safe. And Wen KeXing's actions, while way back in episode 4 seemed like a really good idea, like let's introduce some chaos and get things all riled up, now that we're actually seeing what has happened because of those actions, it's not quite as fun anymore. And Zhou's like, you've put Changling in a lot of danger with this chaos, and this isn't funny. And, we're going to talk about it, but the heartbreak, y'all. But we're not there yet. We're going to go through happy times first. So he goes in there, and then, of course, when KeXing brings all the food and stuff in, he's like, we're going to celebrate. And he's like, as long as there's wine, what does he say? As long as there's wine, you know, we can get drunk. And that's when, of course, Zhou, our not Debbie Downer at all, can't smell the food. He says, the chef at this inn is good at cooking. And he's like, I've started to lose my 5 senses. We don't know to what extent. And we don't know if it's 1 sense at a time or if all of them are being simultaneously dulled at the same time. Like, is his eyesight, his taste, and his smell all simultaneously dimming, or is it one at a time? We don't know. But the moment he said that he started to lose his senses, my heart like dropped to the pit of my stomach. I'm like, no. We can't have that starting now. No, that can't start now. And Wen KeXing doesn't know. If Wen KeXing finds out, he's going to be heartbroken and devastated. And it's just, it's so sad. And when KeXing's like, well, aren't we going to celebrate? Isn't this okay? He's like, as long as you can have a meal with someone that you like, even the most important matters can wait. And he's just trying to be so congenial. And Zhou's like, well, I can agree with that. Like, the next 10 to 15 minutes, I was just an incoherent, blubbering puddle of a human being. Because this was everything I could have wanted. Them sitting down, eating together. Wen KeXing's trying to make him feel better, even though Zhou's spacing out because he's worried about things. and he's worried about himself. And Wen KeXing's like, are you worried about Changling? And he's like, does anything in this world last forever? Which is, why would you say that? Why would you say that, Wen KeXing? Because this episode kind of emphasizes that and why it's important for them to live in the moment. So then Wen KeXing talks about the dog. He says he had a pet dog when I was a kid. My mother didn't want me to raise it, saying dogs are only loyal to one person their entire life. And that he's like, I didn't understand what a lifetime meant. And so Zhou's like, what happened? And he's like, I betrayed it. The line, I betrayed it, I don't know if that means, because what I thought he was going to say was that he kept the dog and then the dog died and he felt really sad about it and learned what, mortality means. And it made him learn. And that's why he told Guzhong, don't make promises if you can't keep them, because then you're responsible for them. But when he said, I betrayed it, it's like, did he end up getting the dog killed without it even living out its entire lifetime? I don't know. If Wen KeXing is in fact the ghost chief, which I think he is, then the question becomes, was he a really nasty person and he's trying to repent and become a better person? And he just, slipped this time, went back to his old ghostly ways, and Zhou was having none of that. That is the question we have. I love this concept that Zhou and Wen KeXing both started out as people working for nefarious groups, and they had done nefarious acts themselves. But Zhou Zishu is trying to, repent and make right from what he's done by punishing himself and helping Changling. And then you have Wen KeXing, who is trying to get in his good graces and be like, oh, we're one and the same. But this episode has shown that they're not quite one and the same. There's some big differences between them. And I don't know if Wen KeXing was ready to deal with those differences until they happened. And then Zhou says, not everything will go your way, but you must not let guilt cloud your conscience. And then get that hand. The moment that hand touched his hand, it was over. And then the montage started, and it was like, but I think Zhou in this moment, when he says, I betrayed the dog that I was sworn to be loyal to, I feel Zhou Zishu understands a little bit where Wen KeXing is coming from, because his whole thing is, I betrayed everyone in the 4 seasons. I betrayed all of my comrades, all of my brothers, and they all ended up dying because of me. So I feel like in that moment, even though Wen KeXing saying he betrayed the dog seems like such a sad thing, Zhou's like, I know what you mean, because I've done the same thing. And it's okay. It's all in the past. We can move forward. Don't feel guilty over stuff you can't change anymore. And that part was really sweet. And the way they connect in that moment. And Gong Jun's looks, his expressions. And then Zhou Zishu hits him and says, speaking of the dog, don't you think you deserve a beating for using this example? Uh-huh. And the two of them, they just flirt and have this great time. And it's just the looks they give each other are so sweet. It's adorable. At the Good Luck Inn. And so then, even as, Zhou Zishu is trying to, get himself in order, I was really hoping that he would take that robe off, but we're saving that moment, I'm sure. The moment he reveals the robe to Wen KeXing and shows him the nails, if these are the expressions we got from Gong Jun being sad in this episode, oh, I'm not ready. I am not physically ready, y'all. I am not ready for what is to come. That much is clear. Anyway. So, yeah. So, then we have, of course, Zhou Zishu is trying to get his meridians in order. Wen KeXing is blowing that damn flute to make him feel better. And the part that got me was that towards the end of it, it seemed like Zhou Zishu started to hear the flute and realize what Wen KeXing was doing. And he smiles and has that little smirk of like, oh, you're trying to help me, huh? Over, done, body, melt, puddle, Magikarp, flailing. Just, that was so, I was just a puddle of a human at this point. That smile, that little small smile, like Wen KeXing is all big, giant emotions and giant energy. And Zhou Zishu is all like just small, very subtle, mindful and demure energies. And it's just so good. It's so good, damn it. So yeah, so then next morning, I can't believe that Wen KeXing just bursts right in. And what I love is the difference between the two moments. When he first bursts in, like at the 13-minute mark, and like kicks open the door, he's like, get up, and like throws the blanket off, versus at the end of the episode when he's very self-conscious and he feels he's messed up, and he's like just lightly knocking on the door, being like, hey, is it okay if I come in? I am sorry, you know, is it all right? Like that change in mood and demeanor says so much for the confidence level that Wen KeXing has at the beginning, and that comfort around Zhou Zishu, versus at the end when he feels very self-conscious, like he done messed up, right? Although, y'all, you're gonna have to forgive me for my gutter mind. You're gonna have to forgive me. He's like, we're gonna walk around the HEADPHONE tower today, get up. And he says, it's almost noon, get up. Look, I'm not saying I looked. I'm not saying that it wasn't there, but it was there. It was there, in fact. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, he's like, it's almost noon. It's time to get up. I could not sleep until noon. I know he said he didn't go to bed till like 1 a.m., but even if I stay up till 1 a.m., I would have to get up like around 8 or 9. I can't sleep until noon. My body would be so groggy but then again, he is losing his senses and is slowly dying, so maybe that's it. He's like, well, if the flowers are bloomed, we need to pluck them, you know? Why do this yourself? And he's like, I'm not going. These 4 soulmates that came on their bitchin' boat to come in, and at first I thought it was a strawberry shortcake couple. I thought it was the ones that were with the beggar gang because, you know, old couple. I haven't seen them in a long time. I thought they just changed robes and went. And I almost thought it was like Gao on top of the ship, like doing the musical dance with them, and I was very wrong when we got up close and saw, oh no, they are not the same people. But these like these couples of swingers going on their boat together, these 2 guys and this man and woman together on the boat, like they're just like soulmates that have gone off into the mountains to live in peace. The heartbreak with them, the heartbreak. And they just are on their boat, you know, doing this beautiful little concert for everybody. And it's so sweet. Everybody's just, you know, walking around HEADPHONE Tower, and the 2 of them look out. The 4 sages of Anji. I feel like we're going to put them on here. The 4 sages of Anji. And they're being soulmates and dying. There was something said later from them that I was like, oh, that's going to come back. That's going to come back in this series for sure. We just have to get there. But Zhou Zishu knowing about the 4 sages and saying that, and because Wen KeXing's like, well, who are they? And he says, they're a rare breath of fresh air in the martial arts world. The worst part is that Wen KeXing didn't know who they are. And Zhou Zishu did. And Zhou Zishu's like, these are amazing people. They're masters of music. He's like masters of music and martial arts that come from very different backgrounds, which is describing him and Wen KeXing. He's like, they became soulmates through a mutual understanding of each other's music and left the martial art world to live quietly in the beautiful bamboo forest in Anji. Can they just go off? Can at the end of this series, can Wen KeXing and Zhou Zishu go to the forest in Anji and go, you know, take up residence there since those people won't have a house to come back to anymore? You know, they haven't paid attention to the world affairs in over 10 years. And Wen KeXing's like, well, no wonder they can produce such heavenly music because they're not, you know, in tune with what's happening in the rest of the world. 2 are a married couple and who used to be disciples of the same sect. And another is a scholar without any martial arts skills, but he's good at playing the zither. That explains why he killed himself. He didn't have any skills to fight back. And the last one is the lone thief. Hey, HEADPHONE. Uh-huh. Although he spent his life in sticky situations, his heart always longed for the light. And his 3 friends guided him to give up evil to join good. And they all went to live in the secluded forest together. I mean, I would ship the thief and the zither player. I mean, I'm sure because of the censors, they were like, we can't say that it's a couple of men that have gone off in the world together. But it kind of also sounded a little bit like the lone thief kind of sounded like Wen KeXing a little bit, that he was, you know, evil and learned to seek the light from someone like Zhou Zishu. It seems very similar, very familiar, correct? Perhaps. But these four all went off to live together in peace and harmony, and they became soulmates, like Yu Boya and Zhang Jikui. So then, Wen KeXing, he says, Yo, Yu Boya and Zhang Jishui, the literary allusion to the high mountains, flowing river, a story of two men who immediately understood each other through music and became soulmates. I mean, every couple has to have a rocky moment in their relationship. We'll accept this episode as part of that. But yeah, they literally are like, this whole scene was so amazing, where they're talking about becoming soulmates. And he's like, soulmates like that are hard to find. And Zhou's like, well, the world itself is not important. What's important is meeting your soulmate. And I was like, ah! And then when KeXing slowly looks over to him, and he slowly looks back at him, and the two of them just kind of, they can't show us on screen the two of them looking together at each other because the censors would have to come back. So instead they just look off screen, but we know they're looking at each other. And then when KeXing slowly gets closer to him, I love how he's like got his hand behind his back and he's like messing with his fingers a little bit. And then Zhou says this. He says, if it wasn't for the fact that I didn't have much time left, wouldn't it be great to find a soulmate to roam the martial arts world with? And he looks right at KeXing. Well, you should just go ahead and find him. Although now he's probably mad at him because he thinks he's done this horrible thing that he has done. Son of a bitch. Yeah, he looks right at him when he says this. To spend the rest of my life with. Like the four sages. He looks right at him. Ugh. And then he kind of thinks about it for a little bit. And he's like, why should I be pessimistic? Living like this for 2 or 3 years is better than wasting an entire lifetime. But then, like, you just see Wen KeXing getting closer to him and, like, bumping shoulders with him. I'm like, look, take your own advice and then just be with Wen KeXing while you still can. Hate. The way they set that up, the way it was so beautiful and perfect, and then the way it's all going to come back and boomerang back around at the end. Cruelty. This show has taken our hearts and just cruelty, I tell you. Speaking of cruelty, Changling, justice for Changling continues as this one guy who has way too much of a power trip over these younglings is sitting there just making fun of Changling's sect. And it very much is apparent that they look down on the Mirror Lake Manor because they think the Mirror Lake does their own style. And the way he talks, it almost makes it sound like the Mirror Lake Manor thought maybe they were better than other sects because they could bypass certain basics and just be talented. And because Changling hasn't been training, they kind of take advantage of that moment to make fun of him. Poor Changling. I don't blame Changling for running off at first. But then when he gets insulted, he turns back around. And he's like, fine, I'll come back. And this one guy with the whip, like, his power tripping is just too much. I don't foresee good things happening to him in the long run, but it's hard seeing our boy Changling getting shoved to the ground. It's very hard. And he does the Charlie Brown walk back where he's like, I felt so bad, like he almost didn't recognize Guzhong when she shows up and makes him like stop and look at him. Like he almost didn't recognize her. He's walking back to his room looking forlorn. And that's when she runs up to see him and like, hey, Changling. And he says, oh, sorry. And then she's like, watch where you're going. And that's when he notices her. And I love how he perks up and is instantly like, oh, hey. Look, I was kind of shipping him with the Gao daughter, but she seems really invested in her brother right now. Guzhong, girl, you got pick of the litter. You can have sweet golden retriever Sao Wei Ning. You can also have sweet young man Changling, who is adorable. Girl, you got run of the mill. You pick whichever one you want. Maybe both. I don't think Sao would care. I think he'd be like, okay. She's like, I'm going to see you Mondays through Wednesdays, and I'm going to see him Thursday through Saturday, and then I'll see you both on Sunday. Because she's like, oh, you're happy to see me. And she says, you're tall enough for me to pat your head. I guess he has gotten taller, maybe, which is interesting. That would be kind of cool if he aged as they were filming and got taller. And the way he grabs her arm and looks at her with such sincerity. Here's the thing that makes my shipper heart go, ooh, is because when Cao Weining is so infatuated with Gu Zhang, which I love because he wants to treat her like a queen, which she deserves, by the way. So that's great. But she doesn't ever get flustered around Cao Weining. She's the one that pokes fun at him and is like, oh, look at you. But then when Changling grabs her arm, she's like, Like she gets a little flustered around him. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then she says, don't cry, great warrior Goldbean, referring to how he has a tendency to cry. Tears are considered valuable and they come in a bean-like shape. And she's like, stop crying. And he says, I thought I would never see you again. I love that. I thought they didn't want me anymore. And she goes, Master Zhou. And she went, oh, him. She's like, oh, don't worry. He's off with my master. They're having a great old time, drinking under the moonlight, what have you, I do like how she doesn't want to give away that she knows they're there first because she doesn't want him to get in trouble or to be in danger or to go off looking for them. So she says, did my master also say that even tough women cannot resist clingy men? And he was like, that's right. How'd you know? And she's like, oh, let me tell you. She's like, you're trying to do the Wen KeXing method to get Zhou to keep you as a disciple. He never teaches you anything good. And she's like, have they come here? And she's like, well, she kind of does a white lie and says not yet, but she'll go tell them, And then we go back to the two of them. So, Wen KeXing is questioning how Zhou Zishu knows people from the other sects based on their clothes. And then Wen KeXing says, well, can you figure out what sect I am from? And Zhou Zishu is like, look, you are doing a lot to disguise yourself to where you're not easily identifiable, but you also look like somebody that's been through many different sects with many different masters, so it's not easy. But then I do appreciate that Zhou Zishu is like, look, you ask me all these questions and I give you answers. Now, when I ask you a question, quit deflecting the answer and going around it. But the thing about it is, we already know and have learned pretty much all the cards Zhou Zishu has to give Wen KeXing. He was the leader of the Window of Heaven. Wen KeXing may not know he was the exact leader, but knows he was involved with the Assassin Guild. The only thing that Zhou Zishu has not told Wen KeXing is the thing about the 7 nails and his less than 3 years of life left. That's the only thing he doesn't know. But with Wen KeXing, we don't know a lot about him at all. We have theories and guesstimations, but we don't know a lot. And Zhou Zishu knows even less than we do. He's like, you were the one who cultivated Zhang's venomous tongue. Uh-huh. And so he tells about each of the different sects. And then Wen KeXing's like, well, guess where I'm from. Your martial arts are complex and constantly changing. And then I like the fact that he tells him, he's like, look, why can't you just be honest? When can you change your habit of always making me guess? Just tell me what you want to tell and keep quiet if you don't, but stop making me guess about it. And I can understand Zhou's point where he's like, you're wanting me to communicate with you and be comfortable around you, but communication's a two-way street. I need you to be honest with me. And if you can't be, then don't ask me to guess and don't ask me to pry when you're not going to give me any answers. I'm hoping that now, since Zhou has been like, I'm not here for this nonsense and horseplay, and he's left. And now that Wen KeXing has seen the results of his actions and how horrible they are, that maybe he'll be like, oh no, I've done something bad and it's gone in ways I didn't think were going to happen. I hope that Wen KeXing goes back and tries to find Zhou, or at least they meet up and they can have like some communication. I don't want to deal with, because I was getting very much Heaven Official's Blessing vibes from these two, in the sense that we were going to have them be kind of together the whole series. I don't like when they're not together. So I don't like the fact of when KeXing's by himself, he's sad. When Zhou Zishu's by himself, he's depressed. I want them to be together and to talk it out. So I'm hoping next episode they get back together. I need that. I need it. And then they have the conversation of, would you be a hero or a wanderer? And Zhou Zishu's like, look, I'm done being a hero. The people that are a hero are pretty self-righteous, and the ones that are experienced, he says they know that to be a hero, it's backed by the blood of others. If you're going to be a hero, you're probably going to have to do some things that are going to involve people you care about being hurt or innocents being hurt. And he's like, I'm kind of over that. So I don't want that to happen. I'll just be a wanderer, and I'll be a wanderer from afar and let them have their self-righteous, wars and whatever. Then he asks Wen KeXing, and Wen KeXing's like, I like being an observer. Although he did cause some chaos in this episode, to look from afar, even though he was an instigator. He's like, I like being an observer and just a wanderer as well. So far away wanderer, roll credits. But the two of them seem like they're on similar wavelengths in this scene. And even Zhou Zishu, he's like, if I wander the world, all I need is you. And then Zhou Zishu's like, he just runs away from that. He's like, nope, not ready to commit to that. And then Wen KeXing's like, oh, come on, wander the world with me. I like the fact that Zhou Zishu makes Wen KeXing a better person. And I want him to become a better person, right? So then Wen KeXing's like, I want you to come up to the roof and drink with me since, you're going to stay up anyway. The moon looks beautiful. And, there's all of the Eastern connotations culturally about, the moon looks beautiful tonight. That means I love you. And they had such a great moment on the roof. There was a song playing. He floated in like a damn nightingale. Wen KeXing's having the time of his life. I love that his robes almost look black with the red. Like he's just like... it looks, he's the ghost king of the world right now. He has everything he could want. He has his bestie that's his soulmate by his side. They're laughing, clinking drinks. It's too perfect. And that's when we get to the height of the honeymoon phase, The two of them just sitting there drinking, being like, I'm so happy. And he's like, everything's about to begin. So meanwhile, we have people fighting over the glazed armor in the streets, and Zhou Zishu, of course, is like, something weird's happening. What's going on? And that's when he's like, this isn't the only death match in the city. The scent of flowers fills and is full of glazed armor. He's like, I'm happy because the show is finally beginning. And he gets a little creepy in that moment and drops his guard, and which is a very ghostly thing to do. If you're a ghost. There is a part of Wen KeXing in this moment of kind of reveling at the chaos that the glazed armor is causing, that at the beginning, when we were first introduced to this idea, I was like, oh, that's a very ghost thing to do. That's a very, that's haha, look at all this chaos we're going to cause. But what I think Wen KeXing thought was that Zhou would be on the same page as him and say, oh yeah, these people deserve it. They deserve, to kill each other for this glazed armor because, I feel like Wen KeXing thought when Zhou Zishu was like, oh, the glazed armor's stupid. I don't care about that. And Wen KeXing's like, I know, right? Now we're going to watch these fools kill each other over it. But isn't that silly because it doesn't mean anything? But then it gets out of hand. And what Wen KeXing wasn't banking on was for Zhou to see that happen and go, oh, well, this isn't right. They shouldn't, we shouldn't be letting them kill each other. That's not cool. That'll have bad repercussions. What if it puts Changling in danger? What if something happens? What if an innocent person is killed? And I don't think Wen KeXing thought that far ahead. He just thought, oh, I'm going to impress my boo by having this fun chaos. And then when suddenly he realized that Zhou Zishu was not about it at all, then it all went downhill. And he was like, oh. And then with the soulmates, then it just gets even worse. Because Zhou's like, I don't like this. Zhou's like, what chaos have you caused? He's like, we need to go watch it. So then we have a lot of other things going on. We have the assassins doing things. The assassins, that was the guy. So that was the guy that was at the dancing event playing the sitar. But I don't think he's the Scorpion King. But he's sitting there playing, right? And he's from before. And then there's all these other people fighting. So the assassins are possibly aligned with all this going down. Then we have the glazed armor. And as they're wandering around, we see what else is happening in the city. There's one part where it's the ghost. It's the changing ghost and his two lackeys. And of course, Wen KeXing is like, look at all this chaos I've started. Look at all this madness at these fools fighting over this glazed armor. And Zhou Zishu is like, I am not here for horseplay. Every life is sacred. what are we doing? Meanwhile, we have the ghosts. I love the parasols upside down. I love everything being greens and blues with the changing ghost. Everything looking so spooky and like it literally looks like Oogie Boogie's lair in Nightmare Before Christmas. I live for the ghost aesthetics, the saturated colors. But yeah, so these guys with the parasols, like on a merry-go-round, which would kind of go with the impermanence thing. I love that theme. Awesome. So yeah, they're just rotating around, and the changing ghost is sitting there doing his thing as these people keep fighting. But interesting. The ghosts, though, that are there, that are working with the changing ghost, were they doing anything in that moment? They really weren't. That was interesting. I don't know what the changing ghost was doing in that moment, but none of the ghosts were fighting anyone. They were just kind of like maybe setting up a barrier. They're the only ghosts we see in this episode, other than potentially Wen KeXing. But I'm like, what were they doing? They weren't fighting anybody. Were they caught? What chaos were they causing, and what was their relationship to everything? We don't really get an answer to that question. Interesting. So yeah, then they touch down, and Wen KeXing's like, look at all these fools and what they're doing. Isn't this funny? They put on a perish together act. And Zhou Zishu knows who these people are, which does not help. He knows who these swords people are and what sex they're from. And Wen KeXing's like, oh, these famous fools, look how stupid they died together. This is why everyone in the world comes for profit. And everyone leaves for profit. They live and die for greed. When will these idiots finally understand that even if they gain the largest advantages, they must actually live to be able to enjoy them? And that's when Zhou Zishu's like, now wait a minute. Zhou Zishu's like, I'm not here for this war against the Ghost Valley and all that, but what did we do? He's like, I thought we were looking for the glazed armor. What did we do exactly? What foolishness have we been doing? And that's when he asks him, he's like, is this the piece? This is the piece they stole from you. And he's like, well, it looks like it. And Zhou's like, what do you mean look like it? And he's like, well, you're very smart. Think about it a bit more. And poor Zhou, I feel like Zhou feels so betrayed because he's like, I didn't think you were this cruel, that you would do something like this, that would cause this chaos and take these people's lives because you took advantage of that. Meanwhile, I feel like Han Jing, I feel like he has figured out that the glazed armor is being replicated. So I feel like he's smart enough. He's figured it out. So he's probably okay. I don't think he's in danger of whatever's going down. But yeah, and he's like, well, don't you think this is all very funny? We go back to the two of them. And Zhou Zishu's pissed. He's like, what's wrong? And Zhou goes, what's wrong? He says, don't you think this is inappropriate? And Wen KeXing's like, well, how can it be inappropriate? And for a ghost, sure, you probably wouldn't think this would be inappropriate, but Zhou Zishu is a little bit more proper than that. All these mundane people were looking to kill themselves, and I just added fuel to the fire. But Zhou's like, this wasn't our battle. I like that Zhou Zishu in this moment is like, look, I have nothing against these people. I'm just here to protect Changling. You will not tell me what your deal is. And you adding fuel to the fire could get Changling killed, which is the whole reason I'm here. So in Zhou's mind, he's probably thinking, do you not care about why I'm here and what my MO is? And you're just doing this because you think it's okay, but you didn't clear this with me and ask me what I thought about it. It's such a couple's argument. It's such a couple's argument. And he's just like, no, we should have talked about this first. And he's like, I thought you were pretending to be crazy and dumb. He doesn't say that he's dumb, but he says, I didn't realize you were actually crazy. And the way that the face crack of Wen KeXing in that moment where he was like, what? What do you mean? And then he just walks off and leaves him. Oh, the stabbing. And Gong Jun's face just being instantly like, oh my God, y'all. Oh my God. Harmonious and prosperous indeed. So I like how the one sect, the Yu Yang sect, we're gonna ignore this man and be like, "I'll get your porridge in 2 hours, you crazy old peasant," until they find out it's like his leader's kid, and then they're like, "Oh shit, we gotta do something now." Wen KeXing's in his mourning robes, not mourning as in the dawn, but mourning as is his grievance robes. He's lost his peacock flared robes, and now he's wearing more muted blues and greens. He still has the red underneath, but he's wearing like more muted colors because he's sad, and Zhou has gone. Oh, I feel so bad for him. He's like, well. And then he says, "Isn't this an overreaction?" He's like, "Well, what are you leaving me for? Like, isn't this a little bit much?" I like Zhou standing his ground. It broke my heart so much, but I'm telling myself that they're not going to be not together for a while. They'll get back together. It'll be okay. I'm not going to have to wait too long for episode 10. Not this week. But I do like that, Zhou sticks by himself. He's like, no. And the thing is, I think Zhou is mad at Wen KeXing. I don't think Zhou is going to avoid him forever. But I think Zhou is going to go and make sure that Changling's okay. I think that's his big thing, is making sure that Changling's okay and that he's not being hurt by this chaos, right? I feel like that's the case. I feel like we'll see about that. So meanwhile, everybody pretty much knows now that the glazed armor has been counterfeit and copied, and that there's fights going on everywhere, and it's all devolved into chaos. And of course, Gao is like, well, this makes us look like assholes because we didn't know about this, and now all this bloodshed is happening under our watch at our conference, and we're not taking control of it. So, of course, he's like, we need to go figure out what's going on. If anyone dares to make trouble during the Heroes Conference, we will kill them no matter if they're human or a ghost. If that's not foreshadowing, because we still have the damn conference. We haven't even got to the conference yet. This is all building up to the conference. What I think is interesting is that so far in this arc, the only ones that have technically caused problems is, well, besides Wen KeXing and his chaos, but besides that, the only ones that have really actually killed anybody connected to the glazed armor are the assassins, whether it's the scorpions or the windows of heaven. And then the ghosts did get those guys to kill themselves, but they didn't have to. The ghosts were like, you don't have to kill each other, but you're going to, right? Well, the alluring ghost did kill those guys, so yeah. But the ghosts are interesting. I'm still Team Ghost, but man, Wen KeXing learned a hard lesson this week. So yeah, so the one sister is wanting her brother to wake up and is hoping he wakes up. I feel, sad that she gets all emotional here. And then the one guy, like, these are the two guys that were responsible at, now were these the two guys that were at the dance thing? Or were they kind of look like the ghosts that were helping the changing ghost. They kind of look like the assistants to the changing ghost a little bit, maybe. But they were the ones at the dance thing where the corpse was found, right? We think, possibly. I'm excited to read the novel because I feel like the novel will give us more context. These scenes, they just kind of like brush past. And the one guy that whipped Changling, he's all sort. He might as well be Shin Shin's son, as emotional as he is. He's just all over the place. So yeah, everybody, they go to Renyi Hall. And then there's this set for the rest of the episode. Renyi Hall, this set piece for Renyi Hall, the black wood, the banners, the destruction of it, the way that it's orchestrated, the red blood contrasted with the black and white of the dark wood and the white banners. Everything about this scene was so well constructed. Like, this scene was amazing. And then the poor couple, they both die, the thief dies, and then the zither player breaks his zither and slits his throat. This was a hard scene. It was really hard. And the beggar gang is back alongside Strawberry Shortcake couple for real now. And they're like, if you haven't done anything terrible, we don't want to create trouble. Just give us the glazed armor. And these people just wanted to play music and, be okay. And they're like, give it to Gao. What we don't know is if the armor that they have is real or if it's also a fake. And they might have said this in the scene, but it's so sad. These people just wanted to play music and have a good time. And these people came in to kill them. Now, they say the beggar gang is the biggest gang in the world, which is crazy, but also kind of makes sense. And they're like, why are you trying to steal this? And they're like, well, we'll use force if you won't give it to us. The world's armory contains the secret arts from all sects and clans, including that of the beggar gangs. So their stake in it is that their reason for getting the armor back is that supposedly the armory has their secrets and like, we're just here to get back our own stuff. Sure. What's interesting is that Gao's like, oh, aren't we all friends when he shows up? And I'm like, not according to this. Not according to episode 1, because they were like, no, their whole thing with Tao Huang and Lu Liu, their whole thing is that they want to blame the Ghost Valley and get the 5 lakes to fight them. That's been their thing all along. So they're just talking between their teeth and making shit up because they don't want to get found out. I was like, excuse me. Yeah, and then Strawberry Shortcake Gang, they do look similar. So, kind of, at least the 2 women do. But yeah. And they're like, look at our other friends. They're not as reasonable as the beggar gangs. The glazed armor belongs to no one. So it's nobody's to take. So then there's Feng Xiaofeng and Gao Shannu. Gao Shannu with the giant gauntlets. Feng Xiaofeng, these subtitles, I don't feel comfortable calling people midgets. I just don't. I don't know. My best friend is like borderline a little person, and I'm like, I just don't feel comfortable with that. Not whatsoever. No. So will not be calling them what they call him in this episode, but Feng Xiaofeng, I do have an visual aesthetic appeal for a very short character with a very tall character, and they're like a duo. I do like that aesthetic. I do like that a lot. It's always fun to see that difference in characters. I think it's creatively interesting, but these subtitles did not mince words. So we have in this, we have Feng Xiaofeng, and we have Gao. I don't know if they're related to Gao Chong, but Gao Shannu. They're in this, and they killed the Anji 4, the Fab 4 in this. Yeah. So Old Man Al-Lazi was the last one in possession of that glazed armor. Oh, so how'd they get that one? How'd the Anji people get Al-Lazi's? Okay. So wait, Al-Lazi's armor supposedly went to the changing ghost. But how did they end up with it? How did they end up with it? Or are they just lying and they just think that Al-Lazi's glazed armor went to them? What? Because they're like looking around like, who's Al-Lazi? We don't know him. It feels like it's just hearsay. They're the Ghost Valley's dogs. Oh, this is no place for you to speak. Oh, I hated when it struck his eyes. That was terrible. Give us the antidote for his eyes. Well, he ends up dying and he ends up running away. So, as far as we know, the 4 of the Anji might be tied to the Ghost Valley. They might be tied to the Ghost Valley. They might be tied to Wen KeXing. Could that be why Wen KeXing freaks out when he sees them die? Because he knows them, which maybe he knew them all along and he just asks Zhou Zishu to be like, oh no, tell me more about them. Come on. Oh my god. So they could be tied to the Ghost Valley, and Wen KeXing might have known them. So when they die, he gets freaked out, being like, he inadvertently, through this chaos, caused the death of people that were connected to the Ghost Valley. Oh no. Oh no. Show, what are we doing? So then Gao shows up in the midst of all this squabbling. They all show up. Wen KeXing is there checking out what's going on. And they have this big fight about the Five Lakes Alliance being, you know, arrogant and everything. And there's all these people, and it's just a cluster cuss. Just a cluster cuss. And Wen KeXing is standing off to the side watching this all go down. So everybody's talking about how everybody's reputations are in tatters. All this is going on. It's ridiculous. And they bring up the fact that Lu Liu and Tao Hong are really close to Elder Huang. And this is a big deal. And they're like talking about the beggar gangs and Shin Shin. It's like a big full circle moment with Shin Shin coming back with them. It's ridiculous. It's all crazy. And so then everybody is just getting all up in each other's business about this glazed armor. And it's just so wild. But then, yeah, she ends up dying. She gets killed. And then they go after the glazed armor. And Wen KeXing, meanwhile, is like, how did this happen? What is going on? Meanwhile, while the beggar gang goes after the glazed armor, out comes the one lone thief whose eyes are like bloodshot. And he looked terrifying throughout all of this. And he ends up getting killed by the elder couple. They end up killing him, which is awful. And Gao's like, no, don't kill him. And then they do anyway. And Wen KeXing's like, I've caused something horrible to happen. And then we see the zither player who gives this monologue where he takes the sword out from his dead friend and said, we lived in seclusion for 15 years and forgot our worries. And then you guys came and ruined it all in an instant. We were just trying to have a vacation retreat and you all ruined it because of this stupid glazed armor. And then Brother Do, as Gao's like, oh, don't kill yourself. And he's like, the four of us retreated from the human world long ago. And we wanted to spend our lives in the forest. We speak for the trees. And we just came to this stupid hero conference because of your request. But I never expected the loyal friendship between you and I would cause us to die in this city. And then, of course, when KeXing's like, oh, wait a minute. This is not going the way that I thought it was going to go. Brother Pei stole the glazed armor back for you. Yeah. He's like, we got that armor back so we could give it back to you. And was it worth it? Was it? And of course, you know, Gao's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that we, you know, acted first and asked questions later. It's fine. Sorry about that. And it's too late. He's like, at this point when Gao says, oh, rest assured, I'll avenge you and the others. And Du is like, I just wanted to be with my friends and they're all dead. And then he says this line. He says this monologue here where he breaks the zither. If your soulmates have left this world, what's the point in staying? I'm like, if anything happens to where Zhou Zishu or Wen KeXing are put into danger, the other is going to freak out. And I have a feeling that Zhou Zishu is going to be the one that's going to freak out Wen KeXing first. Because I feel like Zhou Zishu, even though he freaks out, he is somewhat in control of his constitution for the most part. Zhou Zishu freaks out more about himself than he does other people. Wen KeXing freaks out more about other people than he does himself. So they have a very opposite way of dealing with such things. But yeah. And then with the zither having the blood on the strings, and then he kills himself, and Wen KeXing is like, no. Ugh! Yeah, Wen KeXing screaming no, and then he, slits his throat. Ugh! And Wen KeXing just looks absolutely heartbroken. Like, he looks absolutely heartbroken. And I don't know if he looked more heartbroken about the last man killing himself than the other three dying. So I don't know if it's one of those things where culturally you believe that if you die, your spirit can live on, but if you kill yourself, then it's not the same deal. I know in there's an anime called Death Parade, that's something that's talked about, where if you kill yourself, there is dire consequences of doing so, rather than if you just die a natural death that you didn't cause yourself. But yeah, Wen KeXing does not take that well. Oh, Gongjun, your acting is phenomenal in this scene. And then everybody looks at the damn glazed armor. Oh, every debt has a debtor. They've all died because of... And then they blame Fang Zhaofeng's evil. They instantly blame someone else. And then they just take... They're like, oh, it's not related to us. Like, they just immediately deflect blame onto Fang Zhaofeng when the beggar gang and them were the ones that were right up there begging for it and causing trouble as well. So when KeXing just sees how all of this stuff gets scapegoated to someone else. And originally it was going to get scapegoated to the Ghost Valley, but now it's just getting scapegoated to anybody but themselves. The brother was tricked and poisoned. And they had no choice. Yeah, and then he spins the words saying that Tao Huang and Lu Liu had no choice but act out of self-defense, but they were there to get the glazed armor. Like, the fudge. Uh-huh. It's just all spin and ridiculousness. The acting in this scene is crazy. He's like, you want all this glazed armor? Fine. You take it all. Take all the counterfeit pieces. After the Heroes Conference on July 15th, I'm going to explain everything clearly. Wow. About the glazed armor to all of you. Elder Huang, the two of us must settle our matters after the conference. Wow. That is insane. And then he picks up the glazed armor and realizes that there's counterfeits. Yep. Oh! Oh, my heart! Oh, my heart! Oh! Oh! I can't, y'all. I cannot. Well, so Wen KeXing and Zhou Zishu were having a great time. They were having a great time. The best of times. Up until this episode. I just hope they get back together next week. That'd be great. And talk it out. But what a way to go off, right? So I'm going to wait until the comments come in for episodes 6 and 7 on Patreon and YouTube. I'm going to wait for those and then check back in with y'all next week for episode 10. But I know I've talked for a good solid hour about this episode, but oh my God! I can't wait to hear your thoughts down below. In the meantime, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'm gonna go take my dogs out, and then I'll be back again real soon with episode 10 of Word of Honor. Bye!